Okay, hi, you're watching Greg's Beat Eats, and we're here at Toa Payoh HDB Hub at Gourmet Paradise Food Court to talk about Heng Rojak, which is arguably one of the best rojak in Singapore. Okay, context, it is a Friday and it is 10:30 a.m. or 10:40. I came here at about 10:30 and I thought that they only open at 11 a.m. but apparently they now open earlier, probably to capture more crowd lah. So it is one of the best rojak in Singapore, and especially if you love youtiao, Chinese dough fritters, because this stall gives out a lot of it. So it is one of the most famous hawkers in Toa Payoh, and the business was founded by Chow Kam Seng, who is now in his 50s. He became a pushcart hawker, selling rojak in 1988, right after his national service, at Heng Silver Stream Rojak, which is actually its proper name. There is always a constant queue at the stall, no matter the time of the day, and it is because this stall gets most aspects of a rojak right, and they do it well, plus they give you huge portions for the price. So come, let's have a taste. 一个4块半啊，辣椒加皮蛋一个。
是的。
是啊。
要辣的。
要了要了。谢谢啊。Yeah, okay, so I'm back from the stall and the waiting time was very short because I think everybody knows that the opening time is at 11 a.m. lah. So the fact that I ordered it before 11 a.m. and about 10:45 is actually quite unusual, I suppose. So I ordered the medium portion, which is already quite large already, as you can see. It's freaking huge. $4.50. There's $3.50, $4.50, $5.50, $6.50? I think so lah. And then you have all the ingredients you would expect lah from a rojak. So you have the youtiao, you have the cucumber, you have the bangkwang, you have the pineapple, got some bean sprouts. I ordered some extra peitan, which is a century egg, which is $1 extra. And they have got jellyfish strips, which look a bit different as compared to before lah. But I'll taste it, see what it's like. It used to have kangkong, but I don't think they do kangkong anymore. So they seem to have, oh, there is a bit. Yeah, okay, there's kangkong, sorry. And they should have tofu puff somewhere around. But there's more youtiao than anything lah. This stall gives out a lot of youtiao. So let's try a bit. Obviously I'm going to take the youtiao. So it has all the important flavors of a rojak here lah. The important prawn paste, the heko, is actually imported from Penang. So they use a very liberal amount and it gives the rojak a very dominant earthy taste. There's a very slight tangy taste and you can still taste the ginger flower here, which is actually quite rare lah, you know, especially when it comes to rojak stalls where they use a very robust heko lah. Unfortunately or fortunately, depending on what sort of person you are, the sugar can be on the high side and it can sometimes over-dominate the overall flavor. So if you're averse to overly sweet rojak sauces, right, ask for the sugar to be held back a bit. So going through the items one by one, obviously you have the youtiao. You got a little bit of crispness, more chewy than anything. But remember that it's been soaked in the sauce now, so it's never going to be completely crisp. Then you have the pineapple. Nicely crunchy, nice sour sweetness to it. You have the cucumber. Okay. Decently crunchy, quite fresh. There's some, where's the bangkwang? Ah, there we go. And this should be crunchy and fresh. Crunchy and fresh. Oh. And some bean sprouts. Okay. And kangkong. Okay, not overly boiled, very good. Oh, and of course, the jellyfish. Okay, Still fairly moist, but yeah, it is not as soft as before. It's a little bit more of a chewier texture. Yeah. It used to be like slippery, soft and smooth before, now it's not. A bit unfortunate. Then you've got the peitan. Love peitan. So I say again, peitan is kind of like a Chinese culinary dish lah, where it's actually preserved in a mix of clay, ash, salt, quick lime and rice hulls for several weeks to several months. The reason why you eat it is because it is incredibly creamy. And the other plus point is that they literally cover the whole plate with crushed peanuts. And so it's great in that sense lah, because everybody complains about not having enough crushed peanuts in rojak usually. Now, the other point, as I said about the youtiao, is that it can be a plus point, it can be a minus point. It really depends on how you look at it. So the youtiao pieces come moderately crispy and chewy. It's factory made, but it's toasted well, and you can see them constantly toasting the youtiao in 2 oven toasters. But the balance of the rojak is a bit off as a result. So in the sense that they give you so much youtiao that it turns a rojak into a youtiao dish, fried fritter dish, instead of what it's supposed to be, which is actually an Asian salad. So you can't put too much of it, because otherwise it'll throw the balance off. But obviously if you're a youtiao fanatic, right, you will love it lah. If you're even more of a youtiao fanatic, right, they actually have a separate dish where they just give you the rojak sauce, the peanuts and just the youtiao alone. But for those who like it more like a salad, right, request for the youtiao to be held back. If you're eating alone, and this is your only dish, I would actually say that the base 350 portion is actually more than enough. If you're a large eater, you can up the order to 450, but it's actually quite a big portion that it really stretches the limits of most appetites. I ordered the 450 portion and I haven't had any breakfast, so I had to actually make myself hungry and eat at 10:30, 11. And even then, I would say that it is a bit of a stretch. So stick to the 350 I would say. Okay, finished. I finished it all. So you can call me Greedy Pig Liao from now on. So that was a look at Heng Rojak, or rather Heng Silver Stream Rojak, which serves, I think, one of the most compelling rojaks in Singapore. So would I travel half across Singapore to eat here? I mean, I have my niggles about the stall, and it's quite clear, it can be too sweet for some people. Now there's an additional niggle, which is that the jellyfish isn't as silky, smooth, and soft and moist as before, which is a big shame, because it was really one of the highlights here. But generally speaking, this rojak is very well done, and it is at a great price too. I mean, if you think about it, right, very few hawkers actually combine the marriage of these 3 factors, which is that they actually can combine quality, value for money, and they can actually still make a profit. And this stall actually manages to do all 3, which is amazing. So thanks for watching another episode of Great Speed Eats, where we eat through the whole of Singapore. If you liked this episode, give it a like, subscribe, comment below, and turn on the notifications bell, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.